Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. It's probably been close to another month, possibly going on 2, since I made my last video. I know I was doing a few at the very beginning of quarantine. I pretty much promised that it was going to become a more regular thing, and that just obviously did not happen. It's become like the strangest thing because I have, like I've said in multiple videos already, I have like all the time in the world. But at the same time, I feel like I've lost track of time, and I feel like I have no time, even though I really, truly do. It's such a weird feeling, and it's May. It's literally May, and I still feel like we're in March, and that April just never happened. So it's kind of a very strange thing. Like, I just feel out of it, like I'm here, but I'm not here. Like, I cannot explain how I'm really feeling. It's very strange. But today I was going to do kind of an update video just to run through some things that have been going on. I mean, truly nothing that major has been going on. Nothing's really changed. My writing Discord is going really well. I talked about that in my last video. If you guys are interested in joining, just hit me up, send me a message, and I'll send you guys a link. You can join. Right now, I think the last time I updated, I said we had about 15, 16 members. We just pushed about 80 members. So we've got a decent sized group going on. There are more people joining every day. We've got a really active community, lots of people that are interested in publishing, a lot of hobbyist writers, but it's been going really well. I love the people that are in my Discord. I've made a lot of new friends already, and there actually are a handful of people that are following me right now that are from my Discord. So if you are on my Discord, hello, and I probably will be talking to you in a few minutes over on the server. But truly, aside from that, I really haven't had anything going on of substantial importance. I do have a few pieces that are coming out that I got published. I will be talking about them at a later date. Right now, I don't physically have a copy of the book in my hand, or they're in the works of being published, so I don't have anything to show for it just yet, but I have had a few deals. One is for an audiobook, which I am very, very excited about, and I can't wait to share the details. Also, the only really big thing that probably is a change or an update is I have so much facial hair right now. It is scary because usually I shave and I have no facial hair whatsoever. You guys have seen from my earlier videos, but I can't get to a barber shop right now to cut my hair, so my hair is long, really bad. I'm not looking very presentable. I apologize, but I'm kind of embracing it and just being like, you know what? Let's see where it goes, and at the end of quarantine, I can clean shave and get a haircut and actually look presentable again. So we're just gonna see how it ends up. So yeah, I definitely have more facial hair than the last time you guys saw me. So I'm kicking today off. I made homemade biscuits and gravy. Never did it before. I've made homemade biscuits and sausage, but I've never made homemade gravy, and this was my first time, and it actually was really good. So I'm saving the recipe. But why we're here today is, like I said, not really for an update. It's not really for a story time, but this is something that I wanted to cover for a Precious publication for a while and just never got around to it. So I figured, since I really have nothing else to do until later today, I have a few things scheduled, I might as well get it out of the way and share it with you. So this Precious publication is actually for an anthology that came out, I believe, in September of last year. So like I said, it's been a while. I have been really slow with getting this updated and released, but it's an anthology that I'm really proud of. But this anthology was released through Bone and Ink Press. They have so many projects that they put out a year, and they're all really, really awesome. But this one definitely spoke to me the most, and it is the Shut Down Strangers and Hot Rod Angels Bruce Springsteen Tribute Anthology. So I love Bruce Springsteen. I grew up listening to his music. My father is a huge Springsteen fan. I unfortunately never got to see Bruce Springsteen play live. Hopefully one day I'll get a chance to. My father did with the rest of my family, but unfortunately the day they had the concert, one of my plays was opening in Boston that I wrote. So I had to go to that, and my parents were very upset that they missed it, but we had it all recorded. Another one of my plays came out the following year, and they went and they did see that one. And that one I was much more proud of, so it ended up working out in the end. But one day, I hope to see Springsteen. So it's a beautiful, beautiful collection of a bunch of Springsteen-inspired work. Some of it is nonfiction, talking about, the writers and their love of Bruce Springsteen and his music. Other pieces in here are poetry, and some of them are short stories that are based off of songs. So ultimately what a lot of the pieces in here are they're off of a song, most likely the person's favorite song, and are heavily inspired by that piece. My piece in here is called Winners and Losers, and it is very heavily based off of Bruce Springsteen's Atlantic City, which is my favorite Springsteen song. I have so many favorites from him. It was very hard to pick, but Atlantic City has always spoken to me, and I just love everything about that song, from the lyrics to the composition, just everything. And when I was sitting and really thinking about what I wanted to write, because I knew I was going to write something, but when I was really sitting and thinking about what it was that I wanted to write, that kept coming back to me. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna go with Atlantic City. There were so many submissions for this anthology. It was crazy. And ultimately, I was very surprised that my piece got picked up here. I was not expecting it at all. I literally wrote the piece in one morning. Probably within a span of 3 hours, I knocked this piece out because it all came to me. I knew I had to write it when it came. And at the time, I was helping out at my local animal shelter, and I had my shift starting. And literally right when I finished the piece, I messaged my boss and I said, hey, I just finished writing something. I'm on my way over there, but I just could not put it down. I had literally a paragraph to go. And thankfully, she is very understanding, because this isn't my main job, obviously. I just love working with the animals and helping out when I can. So she knows that I'm a writer. She knows that's like my #1 priority with everything in life. And we laughed about it. I went and got her coffee because I felt bad that I was late. And we talked about it. And I actually told her, she was the first person that I told when this anthology came out. And I said, hey, remember that time that I was late to work because I had to finish that story? Yeah, well, it got picked up. It was bought by this magazine. So that definitely made up for everything. So my story, Winners and Losers, in here focuses around my main character, Jack, and his girlfriend, Mary, who both of these names actually come from other Bruce Springsteen songs. So that kind of was a little Easter egg tied in there for anybody who knows Bruce Springsteen's work. And ultimately, it's a story of Jack trying to make his way in life after moving to Atlantic City and trying to urge Mary to join him there, and just everything that ends up going down. There was actually a lot of research put into this story. I looked up so much information around the time that Atlantic City, the song, was written, around when I based this story, and a lot of what the song referenced. And looking very heavily into it, there was a lot going on in the Philadelphia and Atlantic City area in that time, especially related to gangs. And one of the people that led these gangs was Scarfo. If you search Scarfo up, you will find that there is a very, very big reference to him in Philadelphia and his gangs in New Jersey during the time that this story was written. And I definitely took a lot of inspiration from that and actual events in history. So I feel like that paid off, because I really did make this as realistic as possible with everything that was going on, like I said, in that time, in the areas that are referenced in my story. It's definitely one of my favorite, most recent pieces that I had written. My mom and dad, they obviously got this book. They immediately jumped on it because, like I said, my dad's a huge Springsteen fan. So this to him was like the best publication I ever had released. And they absolutely love the story. They think it's one of the best things that I've written. Again, is it because it's Springsteen related? I don't know. But they loved it, the story, and the editor really loved it, and it really means so much that it was picked up, because like I said, I was so shocked when I opened my inbox and saw an acceptance letter for this story, because with how many submissions there were, I was not expecting this to happen. So it really does mean a lot. And honestly, I think it was the journal that I was most excited for. So for anybody who is interested in having their own copy of Shut Down Strangers and Hot Ride Angels, I will link you down below to the shop to purchase a physical copy. And I do believe that there are digital copies, and I'll link you to them as well. If you don't want to have a physical copy, digital is cheaper, and that way you get it delivered instantly and you've got stuff to read during quarantine. So here is my piece featured in the anthology, just so you guys can see it. I'm going to do things just a little bit differently today for my precious publications, and I'm actually going to read the first page of the story for you guys. I don't normally do this, and I've been thinking about it as something that maybe I should start doing, just so you get a feel of some of my work. For those of you who don't really follow me on my other social media and actually do tune in for my reading sessions, this way you actually have a sense of what I write, and you'll know if this story does interest you and you want to pick a copy up. So here is the first page from my story, Winners and Losers, published in Shutdown Strangers and Hot Rod Angels. There wasn't a paper in the Northeast that didn't headline the news that morning. From every alleyway and boardwalk down to the beach, hush whispers lined lips. It was no secret that gang activity had been on the rise these past few months, but it was never anything this extreme, this close to home. Philadelphia was only an hour by expressway after all, and that got people worried. It's bad for business, I overheard one of the local shopkeepers say. Tourists ain't gonna head here for the summer with all that blasted across the news. Hell, they'll be making their way up to Maine, Bar Harbor. I folded my newspaper and lit a cigarette. People acted like violence was some new thing. Sure, I'll admit not as gruesome perhaps as what good old Philly was cleaning up, but we had more than enough localized crime. Between the shady deals on the boardwalks late at night and the hustlers on the promenade, Atlantic City was the perfect poster child, designed to bring in the hopeful, the desperate. Here you were either a winner or a loser. You just had to play your cards right, and I'd been playing a losing hand of solitaire for years. Like many, I'd risked everything when I packed my bags and took what little I had to buy a ticket to the coast city. It was, after all, a gambler's paradise. And after being dealt the worst cards in the game for so long, I was ready to lay all the chips on the table, take one last chance. I'll find a job, start to really make a life for myself. That's what I had told you. I promised it would be true, but right from the start, you had your doubts. You warned me of what the sandy shores offered at night, told me it was all just a big city of lights and dreams. But the dreams die, Jack. They die and lay cold on the coast. You said in the sunlight the sand looked gold, but you assured me that it was only that of fools, a trick of the light. Sand's still sand. You begged me not to go that night, told me I was making a mistake that I'd regret, throwing it all away. But my heart and my dreams were set on the lights. I told you I'd bought you a ticket too, asked you to join me, to get out of here and start a new life. But you turned away. I can't. I'm sorry. Your dreams were built up in the small town middle of nowhere, and I couldn't take them from you. When the Coast City bus finally arrived, we hardly said goodbye. I watched you from the window as it pulled away, leaving behind the life I knew, leaving behind you. Someday, I'll come back. So that is the first page of my story, Winners and Losers, from Shutdown Strangers and Hot Rod Angels, a Bruce Springsteen Tribute anthology. So if you're interested, like I said, I will link it down below for you to order your copy, either a physical or digital copy. Digital, like I said, will be delivered immediately to you, so it's much easier if you're looking for something to read while in quarantine. But the anthology overall is full of so many great pieces. I've read it cover to cover, and all the work that's featured in there is amazing, and I definitely tip my hat to all of the other authors that were featured alongside me in the anthology. So if you're a fan of Springsteen, definitely check it out. Even if you're not a fan of Springsteen, but you're a fan of good writing, check it out. Again, I will link that down below. So that just about wraps up my precious publication today. It wasn't anything really major. Like I said, I'm just trying to make content at this point. I do have other precious publications that will be coming out very soon. Like I said, the books are not out yet, but they are on their way out and will be out probably this month at some point. So stay tuned for more of those. And I do have more story times coming up very soon. Binks is like getting antsy because he knows that it's breakfast time. But I do have other story times to share with all of you as well, so definitely look forward to those. In the meantime, remember, everybody, keep washing your hands, don't touch your face, social distance when you can, wear your face masks if you have to leave in public, and just stay safe and healthy, and keep doing your best to make sure that everybody else stays safe and healthy. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.